Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me for Faithful Fridays. What a blessing it is to be alive and well and here to jump on and join you on this awesome Friday. What a week it has been. It has been an extremely productive week for me. If you're in the Midwest, we are expecting a pretty clear weekend with some steady rising temps that are bearable. I know last weekend it was very unbearable and a lot of people didn't want to get out. Today we are headed towards 51, and I mean that sounds like paradise. Literally just no complaints this way. This week for me again was productive. I was able to get a lot done. I felt good about being able to get a lot done. I stay committed to just the things that I said that I would do, that I want to continue to do, like, making sure that I'm starting my day off with morning prayer, making sure that I'm going to the gym, making sure that I'm putting me first, making sure that I'm even getting the proper rest. Our rest means a lot to us. I learned to do all these things, and I'm continuing to do all these things by just managing my time better. Even before I go to bed at night, I'm writing down the things that I need to get done the next day. If I don't get all those things done, I'm not making myself even feel guilty about it. I'm just putting my best foot forward. Last weekend, we talked about just taking advantage of the disconnect, because a lot of people, just even their disconnects, they don't want to do much. And even if it was just resting, not to even feel guilty about that. But for me, besides working the business, I got a chance to do some deep cleaning on last week. And even just being able to do that and get that done, that allowed me to have a smoother week, because those were things I didn't have to worry about throughout the week. This week for me was all about taking control of my thoughts. Taking control of my thoughts, which in return helped me to gain control over my life. And just getting all of those things out of my head that I needed to get done. I realized that, a quiet environment is sometimes the best environment to be in. It allows you to think. And I'm learning to appreciate my quiet time. I really am. I spent a great portion of my life just surrounded by so much noise that I couldn't even think at times. And a lot of the noise I created for myself, just placing myself in environments and making sure that I kept a busy schedule and not really wanting to have downtime. So just learning that it's not a bad thing to have those quiet moments and be in a quiet space, retreat into a quiet place to be refreshed equips us to grow. That's why I label the weekend for me the disconnect. It is the disconnect. It is my chance to disconnect from those things that I have to do and be able to do some of the things that I enjoy doing. If you don't have a quiet place, are you able to build one? What is your quiet place? Where do you go? I know a lot of times people will talk about just even spending a few moments in the car to just have some quiet time, especially if you have children. A lot of times once you go in the house or you're done for the day, it's boom, boom, boom. You're right into that next set of responsibilities. But where do you go for your quiet space to just be able to disconnect and digress the things that you have absorbed for the day? For me, it's my office. That's where you're seeing me at now. It's my office. I definitely built my office around making it a place where I could be, I wouldn't mind being, and that it could be used for multiple purposes. I use my office to pray. I take naps in my office. I retreat to write in my office. This is where I come and write. And if I don't want to be bothered, I come in here too. I go to my office, I shut the door, I can watch a good show. It is my sacred place, and I created it that way because that's the way that I wanted it to be. You have to uncover, what are some of those distractions that can interrupt your quiet time? Because we all have them. When I tell you, for me, I talk about distractions, it doesn't take much to distract me. Things like my phone or worrying about what I need to do next, the computer, emails pinging, knocks on the door. Those are the things that can distract me. And thank God for the doorbell, because sometimes you can just look and see, I don't want to be bothered. But, when I even talk about the phone, when I don't want to be distracted, I turn it off or I turn it over. I silence it. It's okay. It'll be okay if you've got to wait a little bit for me to call you back. Leave a voicemail. When we talk about, worrying about what's next, that's why it's very important that we create a plan and that we manage our time wisely so everything's not in our head. We're not trying to remember everything, because that takes up a lot of space as well. And then when it comes for just the emails, because I work out of my office as well, when it's not a time that I should be working, I make sure that my screens are dark. I'll shut my computer down so that I don't have that bothering me. I'm not even tempted to jump on and look and see what happened. It's not a fire. Life will carry on without me. It's just about minimizing the distractions. I also discovered this week that making decisions, as far as like in halt mode, is dangerous. And when we talk about halt, yes, you have to halt sometimes before making decisions. I have to make sure I'm not making decisions when I'm hungry or I'm angry or I'm tired or I'm lonely. That is what HALT from an acronym standpoint stands for me. And when you're hungry, we know we've all heard those stories of going in the grocery store, you're hungry and you're trying to make decisions of what you're supposed to be buying for the week. You're buying everything but what you should be buying. So again, not a good time to make a decision when you're hungry. When you're angry, sometimes you don't make the best decisions because you're making them from an emotional state. Making decisions when you're tired. I've made decisions when I was tired, and sometimes I've gave some yeses that later on I regret it because I probably should have said no, but because I was tired and I was attempting to respond quickly, I didn't make the best decisions. And then making decisions when you're lonely. A lot of times when you're making decisions when you're in a lonely place, you don't make the best decisions either. You find yourself keeping company that you shouldn't keep. You find yourself in rooms that you probably shouldn't be in, and you find yourself entertaining things that you wish you wouldn't have. Making decisions in a hard place, guys, can easily make us default to using our feelings. It can, rather than using the wisdom that we've learned along the way. And we have to use wisdom, especially if you're getting older. You want to grow in the things that you go through. When I'm going through some stuff, and I know I've got to make a hard decision, I have to turn to people that have been through some stuff. It's no disrespect, but I got to talk to somebody that's been through some things, because that's where the wisdom is. And I'm not just talking about people that have just went through some hard times, but those that have went through some things and came out on the other side. They're carrying some wisdom that I can learn from. They can tell me those things. Stay away from that. Don't do this. That may not work. Here's a better option. And them just lending wisdom by sharing their story, giving their testimony of maybe what did or did not work, and allowing me to navigate that thing on my own. It is crucial, very crucial, to seek out wise counsel when we feel a bit swallowed up by life, circumstances, and situations. Why? Because most of us are experiencing battles. And the first way that you're going to win a battle is in your mind. It's in your mind, because a lot of times our mind is playing tricks on us. It's going at 1,000 miles per minute and is entertained by so many things. We have to set our mind. When we set our mind on flesh, or to set our mind on flesh is death. But to set our mind on the spirit is life and peace. And that's why I get up and start my day in word and prayer and making sure I'm reading some good literature that's going to stir me up and push me forward in the right direction. We must take captive every thought, because every battle is won in the arena of our mind. We have to condition our mind of what we don't want to believe. We have to speak those things that we do want to believe. That's why affirmations are so important to people. That's why the word of God is so important to people. That's why being positive is so important, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. And once it comes out of your mouth, your mind begins to hear it and believe it. We have to continue to remind ourselves that we will not let fear keep us from what God has for us. We just can't. I can't tell you how many times I've done things scared. If it doesn't challenge me, a lot of times I don't want to do it, because I want to take things to a new height. I want to experience life on a new level. And if I continue to do things the same old way, then I'm never going to learn new aspects of life. And my goal is to grow. Your goal should be to grow. And it's a new year, and I know that you desire to grow. Continue to be open to new opportunities. Continue to walk through new doors. That is how I am where I'm at today, just by stepping out on faith. A lot of things I had no clue what I was doing until I did it. But They say faith without works is dead. And so I had to have faith that God would make me efficient in those things that he had called me to do. And he has not let me down and having my back and making me efficient along the way. You know, as we close out this week, I always try to leave you guys with some nuggets. But remember, wisdom is the silver lining. Wisdom will help us not to repeat the mistakes that we've made, but to help us grow stronger through them. We will be able to look back and share our wisdom with someone else that will make their life better. Trials are working out for our good, guys. They are. They really are. If we want to, if we persevere, we got to remember we're going to mature. We're going to grow. We just got to get through some things. If we lack wisdom, we should ask God to give it to us. And it's, you know, as long as we don't doubt, he'll do it. He will do it. You know, the best advice that I heard this week, and it immediately stuck with me. I'm talking about immediately stuck with me. It was from Pastor Mike. I listened to him from an online perspective when I'm needing that push and pump throughout the week. This week, during his message, he was talking about all kinds of awesome things. But the statement that had stuck with me, he said, the enemy can't take your vision, but he can take your attention. And for me, that was deep. Because it made me think, what and who has our attention? And I know all kinds of things can have my attention at times, but I'm trying to be more intentional about what I allow to take my attention and not getting off track with those things that I'm supposed to be on track with. So yes, that's it for me, guys. It is the disconnect. I hope you're glad about it. I know I am. Make sure you get out and do some things that your future self will thank you for. If you're looking for the guys, we will be back at the Indy Winners Farmers Market. That is at the AMP 16, 1220 Waterway Boulevard. That's located on the west side of Indy. Come see us. We got deals. Check out the page. I'm not even going to go through the deals. Just know that we got some sales going on. Check out Shay Sparks. She just released another feature on today. I'm telling you, this girl is on fire. Every week you're going to get something. But yes, make sure if this is your disconnect, that you do something your future self will thank you for. Even if it's just getting some rest, that's okay too. Even if it's doing some deep cleaning to make sure that your week goes better next week. Reflect, figure out what worked, what didn't work, and what could have went better for next week. Remember, let your light shine. Your transparency is leading to so many other people being transformed. This has been your girl 7, and I will see you soon.